Hey, hi all, welcome to the channel. Hope all is well at your end. So today we'll talk about some common operators which are heavily used in SQL. So basically we'll talk about AND, OR, in, not in, null, is null and not operator. We'll also talk about some predicates like between and like. So let's start this particular video. But before that, if you're new to the channel, please go ahead and subscribe it. And please give your thumbs up if you like this particular video, subscribe and share the same in order to reach it to more audience. So let's talk about and or operator first. Okay. So basically and operator is used to combine two or more conditions. Okay. So all conditions combined with and must be true for a row to be included in the result set. Okay. And what it means? It means that if we are putting AND condition, then we'll have to make sure that whatever different conditions we have put within the where clause, all those conditions has to be true. Okay. Then only your query will retrieve the result set. Otherwise, it will not retrieve the result. So let's look at the syntax of the AND operator. Okay. So basically the syntax is simple. Select column name from table name where condition 1 and okay, and then AND condition 2. Okay. So using AND we can include multiple conditions. Okay. So let's look at the example. Okay. So select star from student where city is equal to Noida and percentage greater than or equal to 60. Okay. So what it means? So it will simply retrieve records from student table where city is equal to Noida and percentage greater than or equal to 60. Okay. So in this particular case, since we are using AND operator, we'll have to make sure that both these conditions are true. Okay. Then only result will come out. Okay. So in case of AND, whatever condition we are specifying after the where clause, all conditions should be true in order to retrieve results from the table. Okay. Now let's talk about OR operator. Okay. So OR operator is also used to combine two or more conditions. Okay. The difference here is that in case of OR, it's not necessarily that all the conditions whatever we are specifying, those should be true. Okay. Either of them can be true and result will come out. Okay. So basically the syntax of the OR is similar to the same whatever we have used for AND clause. Okay. The only thing is that in place of AND we'll have to use OR operator. Okay. So basically the syntax is select column name from table name where condition 1 or condition or you can keep adding condition as per your requirement. Okay. Let's look at the example. Okay. So it's the same example. The only thing is that in place of AND we are using here OR operator. Okay. So in this particular case, if city is equal to Noida, then result will come. Okay. Or percentage greater than or equal to 60, then also result will come. So either of these conditions are true. Okay. And it will pull record from the database. Okay. Maybe we'll try to understand this thing in more detail when we'll do, like some sort of practical hands-on. Okay. So here we'll have to keep one thing in mind. Okay. AND operator has always higher precedence than the OR operator. Okay. So if we are not specifying any brackets within the query, okay, then AND is having higher precedence. Okay. Let's look at this particular example. Select star from student where city is equal to Noida or roll number is equal to 20 and city is equal to Gwalior. Okay. Now how the system will execute this particular query? Okay. Since AND is having higher precedence, okay, so this will, this will be executed like this. Okay. So the bracket will be applied first here, roll number 20 and city is equal to Gwalior. Okay. So the entire query will be translated like this. Okay. Select star from student where city is equal to Noida or within brackets roll number is equal to 20 and city is equal to Gwalior. Okay. So it's always good to specify brackets in our query, but if brackets are not specified, then system will give higher precedence to AND operator. Okay. So let's move to the next section. Next we have in and not in. Okay. So in operator allows you to specify multiple values in a where clause. Okay. So using in operator within where query, we can specify multiple values. Okay. Let's look at the syntax. Select column name or asterisk from table name where column name in, and within brackets you can specify multiple values. Okay. So let's look at the example. Okay. Select star from student where city in Noida, Bhopal, Mumbai. Okay. So this will basically retrieve results where city in Noida, Bhopal, Mumbai. Okay. So this will work something similar to OR operator. If either of these cities is equal, then system will pull that particular record. Let's say in your database or in your table, you have got only two cities, Noida and Bhopal. So it will retrieve value for Noida and Bhopal. Okay. Then we have not in operator. Okay. So this is just opposite to in operator. Okay. Basically, not in operator excludes values that matches in the specified list. Okay. So whatever values we have specified in the list, it just exclude those values. Okay. Let's look at the syntax. So select column name from table name where column name not in, and within brackets we can specify multiple values. Okay. So let's look at the example. So it's almost the same, only in place of in, here we are using not in clause. Okay. Okay. Let's move to the next, not operator. Okay. So not operator, it's a logical operator actually. It basically negates the condition. So whatever condition we are specifying in where clause, it just, like negate that particular conditions. Okay. Let's look at the syntax. Select column name from table name where not, and then conditions. So whatever conditions we are going to specify after not operator, it just try to negate that particular condition. Okay. And accordingly, it will pull the results. Okay. Let's look at the example. Okay. So select star from student where city not, select star from student where not city is equal to Bhopal. Okay. So what it will do, it will simply, exclude records where city is equal to Bhopal. Okay. So whatever condition we have specified, so here we have specified city is equal to Bhopal. Okay. So it will not consider that part, and other than this, it will pull all the records from the database. Okay. Next we have is null and not null. Okay. So basically null represents a, a missing value in a database. Okay. Null doesn't mean zero. Okay. So if something is not specified or if something is not mentioned, in that case, database normally consider it as a null value. Okay. So it's basically a undefined value. Okay. So is null is basically used to check whether that particular value, column value is null or not. Okay. So basically the syntax is select star from table name where column name is null if we want to check the nullness of that particular column, or opposite way is not null. Okay. So both the condition we can use in the similar way. Okay. Let's look at some examples. Select star from student where roll number is null. So this will retrieve records from student table where roll number is not defined. Okay. Again, if roll number is 0, that will not be considered as a null because 0 is something different from null. Okay. 0 means something has been defined. Okay. And null is something is undefined. Okay. Next is select star from student where roll number is not null. Okay. So it will retrieve all the records from the student table where roll number is defined. Okay. So let's talk about between predicates. Okay. So between basically, it's basically used to specify a range. Okay. So using between basically within a certain range or within certain brackets, we can identify the values and we can pull the record from the result sets. Okay. So let's say if we'll have to pull record from database, okay, within certain range, let's say age is between, 10 to 20. Okay. So system will only consider those records where age falls between 10 to 20. So in such cases, between operator is normally used. Okay, here we'll have to keep one thing in mind, and points are also included in this particular range. Okay, so what it means, if we are defining range 10 to 20, it means 10 and 20 both are included in this particular calculations. Okay, now let's look at the syntax. Select star from table name where column name between value 1 and value 2. Okay, so this is how we can use between. Let's look at the examples. So first one is select star from student where roll number between 20 and 24. Okay, so it will pull all the record from the student table where roll number is between 20 and 24 and including 20 and 24 in that particular range. Okay, so if someone is having roll number 20, that record will also come out from the database. Okay, next is select star from orders where order date between like this particular date range. Okay, so using this particular thing, we can also give date range. Okay, and it will pull record from that particular date range. Then we have like predicates. Okay, so what it does? Okay, so basically like predicate in SQL, it is used to search for a pattern. Okay, so it's particularly useful for string matching. Okay, and allow different sort of wildcards in order to enhance the search capabilities. Okay, so syntax for like predicates is select star from table name where column name like pattern. Okay, so after like we'll have to specify the pattern. Okay, now there are two wildcards characters, percentage and underscore. Okay, so what's their role? So percentage basically matches all characters or strings. Okay, then next we have underscore. So underscore basically matches single character. Okay, so basically percentage signs matches all characters in a string and underscore only matches single characters. Okay, now let's look at some examples. Okay, so first one is select star from student where student underscore name like I percentage. Okay, so this will pull record from student table where student name starts with character I. Okay, and after that anything can come because percentage is there. Okay, now next one is select star from student where student name like percentage n. Okay, so here percentage is coming first and n is at last, so it means it will pull record from student table where like student name ends with character n. Okay, then next we have select star from student where student name like percentage on percentage. Okay, it means it will retrieve record from student table where student name is starting with like some other characters. Okay, and ending with some other characters, but in between it's having on. Okay, it means it will pull record where student name contains on. Okay, let's talk about some more examples. Okay, so select star from student where student underscore name like underscore m percentage. Okay, so as I said, underscore specifies single character. Okay, so first character can be anything, but in second character it should be m, and thereafter percentage is there. It means anything, any other string can come into picture. Okay, so if we summarize it, okay, this particular retrieve all the records from student table where second character is m. Okay, let's look at the next one. Select star from student where student underscore name like underscore m percentage. Okay, so here two underscores are there. Okay, so underscore specifies single character and third character is m, and thereafter percentage is there. Okay, it means third character has to be m. Okay, and percentage is there. It means thereafter after m anything can be displayed. Okay, then we have select star from student where student name like underscore. Okay, it means it will search student name where like student name consists 3 characters. okay, because 3 underscores are there, okay. So that particular name should have 3 characters. No percentage is there, then like it should be ended with 3 characters, okay. There should not be more than 3 characters, okay. So let's do some practical exercise, then I think you will have clear picture about all these operators. So let's do some practical exercise, okay. For that one, first I'll showcase you the table which we are going to use, okay. So select star from student, okay. So this is actually data for this particular table, okay. So we are having 3 column: student name, roll number, city, okay. So we are going to do all the operations on this particular table, okay. Now let's see how we can use AND operator, okay. So for that one, we'll write query select star from, okay, student, okay, where let's say roll underscore number is equal to 20 and city is equal to, let's say, Indore, okay. Okay, so this is our data set, okay. Now in order to return results, what system will do? System will look for a row which is basically matching both these conditions, okay. So it's basically 2 conditions are there. One condition is roll number is equal to 20 and other condition is city is equal to Indore, okay. So in this particular data set, if we see only the first row, it's meeting this particular condition, okay. So if we execute this particular query, it should return one row which is having city Indore and roll number 20, okay. So this is what we were expecting, okay. Now let's write one more query using AND operator. Select star from student where roll underscore number is equal to 20 and this time I'm changing city, okay. I'm changing it to Bhopal, okay. So this is our query, okay. Now let's look at the data again before executing this particular query, okay. So this is our data set, okay. Now what we are actually looking for? We are looking for a row where roll number is equal to 20 and city is equal to Bhopal, okay. So in this particular data set, do we have any row which is having roll number 20 and city Bhopal? So in the very first row, we do have roll number 20, but city is Indore, so this will not return. Then the other one, city is Bhopal, but roll number is not 20, okay, so this will not return. And same for others as well, okay. So in this particular table, we don't have any data which is meeting this particular condition, okay. So this particular query should not return any row, okay. Let's try to execute it, okay. As expected, it's not returning any row, okay. So this is about AND. Now let's see how we can execute or how we can do operation for OR operators, okay. So for that one, maybe we'll try to execute the same query again using OR operator. So I'm simply copying these queries, okay. So I'm simply copying it, okay. And in place of AND, I'm going to replace it to OR, okay. So this is what I'm going to do, okay. But before executing again, let's look at the data again, okay. So we do have this data in our table, okay. Now this particular query we are trying to execute, okay. So what it's saying? It's saying roll number is equal to 20 or city is equal to Indore, okay. So either of this condition is meeting, it should return a row, okay. So in this particular data set, we do have roll number is equal to 20, okay. So this condition is meeting, so this row should come up irrespective whether city is Indore or not, okay. Then the next one is roll number 22. So roll number is not meeting, city Indore, so this is not meeting. Then again roll number is equal to 23 and city New York, so this is not meeting. Roll number 24, city Gwalior, it's not meeting, okay. So except first row, rest all other rows are not matching, okay. So this should return first row, okay. Let's execute it, okay. So this is returning the very first row, okay. Now let's execute the next one, okay. I'm simply replacing and with or. Okay, now again let's look at the data again. Okay, now we will compare this particular query with the data whatever we have in a table. Okay, so in the very first row we have got roll number 20, city Indore. Okay, so here first condition is meeting where roll number is 20. Okay, since it's or operation, okay, so irrespective whether the second condition is meeting or not, this particular row will come in a result set. Okay, then in second row we have 22, so roll number is not matching, but city is equal to Bhopal, so it's matching, so this particular row will also come in a result set. Then in the third row we have got roll number 23, so it's not matching. Then city New York, so that is also not matching, so this will not come in a result set. Okay, then in fourth row we have got roll number 24, city Gwalior, this is also not matching. Okay, so this particular query will return two rows, okay, having cities Indore and Bhopal. Okay, so let's execute it. Okay, so that's what we were expecting. Okay, so I have just removed all those queries in order to avoid any confusion. Now we'll talk about in and not in operator. Okay, so let's look at the data set again. So this is our data. Okay, now how we can use in clause, select star from student where let's say roll underscore number in. Okay, we can mention 22 comma 24. Okay, so this should give us this one, first and fourth rows. Okay, okay, so it's returning whatever we were expecting. Okay, now within also we can club other condition as well, like I can mention it like this one, and city is equal to Bhopal. Okay, now since and is there, so both first condition, so this is basically first condition. Okay, this is basically our first condition and this is second conditions. Okay, so both these conditions should meet. Okay, so only second row which is basically satisfying both these conditions. So if we execute this particular query, it should return this particular second row. Okay, okay, so this is what the uses of in. Okay, in the similar fashion, okay, we can use not in. Okay, so we can simply replace in with not in. Okay, so it will basically exclude these 22 and 24. Okay, so see, okay, so except 22 and 24, it's showing rest roll numbers records like 20, 23. Okay, so that's the uses of in and not in clause or operator. Okay, then we can quickly see the not clause as well. Okay, so let's look at the data again in the table. Okay, so select star from student where let's say not city is equal to New York. Okay, so it should exclude this particular record. Okay, so let's execute it. Okay, so except New York, rest all records are coming up. Okay, so that's the uses of not, is simply negate the condition whatever you are specifying after this particular clause. Okay, if you want to see another example, you can do like this, roll underscore number is equal to 20. Okay, so it should exclude this roll number is equal to 20. Okay, so except 20, rest all records are coming up. Okay, so that's the uses of not. Okay, now we can see the uses of between clause as well. Okay, so let's look at the data again in the table. So this is the data. So we can simply put roll underscore number between, okay, let's say 22 and 25. Okay, so just remember one thing, 22 and 25 here are inclusive. Okay, so as per the data, it should return 4 rows, that is 22, 23, 24. Okay, let's execute it. Okay, so this is how we can use between clause. Okay, now let's talk about like predicates. Okay, so for that one, we can simply run this particular query. Okay, to see the data. Now we'll write our query. Okay, so let's say where city, like let's say I percentage. Okay, so as per data, it should return the very first row. Okay, so let's execute it. Okay, so this is fine. Now let's execute another one. Let's say I want city where city ending with K. So I can write like this. So it should return, like New York. Okay, so this is fine. Now I want city which basically contains OP, okay, in the string. Okay, so let's execute this one. Okay, so this is returning me Bhopal. Okay, now let's see the uses of underscore. Okay, so let's say I'm using something like this. Okay, first character could be anything, but second character should be, let's say, W. Okay, and after that anything will come. Okay, so as per the data I should return Gwalior. Okay, let's see. Okay, fine. And then similar way we can mention like this. First two characters can be anything, and the third character should be, let's say, D. Okay, so in this case it should return Indo. Okay, so this is fine. Now let's see, I want cities which basically contains 6 characters. So I can give 6 underscores. Okay, so it should return me rows which is having city which consists 6 characters. Okay, so we have got 2 cities which are having basically 6 characters in city's name. Okay, so this is how we can use like predicates. Okay, now we can see the uses of is null and not null clause. Okay, so in this particular table, as of now, we don't have any record which is having null value. Okay, so let's try to insert one record in this particular table. Okay, so we'll put one record in this particular table, insert into student values. Okay, let's say name I can put Virat. Okay, then the roll number should be 25 and city I am keeping it as a null. Okay, so this is how I am inserting. Now we should have 5 rows in this particular table. Okay, so we do have 5 rows. Okay, now we can see the uses of null. Okay, so we can simply mention where city is not null. Okay, so it will give me record where city is not null. Okay, it's a simple English. Okay, so 4 rows are coming up where city is having some value or city is defined. Okay, now we can simply look for this one, city is null. Okay, so it will give me records where city is null, which is basically the city of Virat. Okay, so for this particular record we haven't specified any city, that's the reason this is coming up. Okay, so here city is undefined. Okay, so that's all for today. Okay, hope you would have liked this particular video. Okay, if so, please give a thumbs up. Okay, and keep providing your support to us. Your support means a lot to us. Please like, subscribe and share our channel. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye. Thank you. Keep watching.